G'day and welcome back to the channel. My name's Bruce Simpson. I have a 25-gram drone, quadcopter, little flying machine, 25 grams. And it has FPV, it has a little camera in the front here. So, and you can see, I've put a little thing in the corner here, you can see what the camera sees on this drone. I get that picture beamed through to these goggles here, and it's called flying first person view. Now, it's a very positive, very active part of the whole hobby, and there are some rules around it. One of the rules is section 101.209 of the Civil Aviation Regulations here in New Zealand. It says if you're going to fly this way, you've got to have someone else with you who's looking out for planes and trains and children and puppy dogs, so you don't hurt anybody or kill anybody, right? So that rule was developed, was implemented in 2015. That's 5 years ago, long time ago, before these craft were available, before these tiny little ones were available. But a lot has changed in the last 5 years. And just yesterday, an investigator from CAA contacted me about a video on my channel in which it appeared that there was someone flying one of these quadcopters in a park, well away from people, at a very low level, just 1 or 2 meters. And Doug said that this was a threat to aviation. This flight was a threat to aviation. And when I asked why, because there were no planes around, and there shouldn't have been planes flying through the trees in the local park anyway, he said because it was non-compliant. And according to Doug, if you're non-compliant, you're a threat to aviation. Well, I want to challenge that in this video because I don't see how this can be a threat to aviation or anyone. The only threat this poses is a choking hazard because it's so small, light, and even the propellers got little shrouds, little ducts around them, so they can't even cut you. Even if it flew into your face, wouldn't do anything, right? So, but according to Doug and CAA, any flight that is non-compliant is a threat to aviation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to have an egregious breach of the regulations. I'm only doing it because I know it's 100% safe, and I know that safety and compliance are not one and the same. You can be non-compliant and you can be totally safe. I'm going to prove that in this video that's coming up now. So I'm going to fly this thing in breach of CAA 101.209 because I'm going to be flying FPV with my goggles without a competent observer, without any observer. Normally when I fly, my wife's the observer. She sucks herself away so she can't be seen by the camera, and she observes me, and if there's anything coming, she'll let me know. When it's necessary to preserve safety, observers are crucial. There are many places I would never dare to fly FPV without an observer. But sometimes, such as this example I'm showing you now, there is no risk to fly FPV without an observer. According to me, CAA disagree. Let's have a look. Let's find out for real. If anyone's going to die or any property is going to get damaged when I fly this in non-compliance with the regulations, come for a flight with me. Let's see what happens. Right, let me put my goggles on. Here we go. Currently that is disarmed. It says on the screen. So I'm going to stand out here so you can see me, and I've got my goggles on. Let's arm it and go for a flight. Come with me. Here we go. We are flying around. So let's go around here. Let's go out here where I certainly could never see, even if I took my goggles, if I couldn't see this now. We're relying solely on the FPV camera on the quadcopter to see where we're going. We'll fly over the cars. Let's turn around out here. And let's come back. How about that, eh? Let us do, oops. Oh, goodness me. There you go. We bounced into something. But again, nothing was damaged. The quadcopter wasn't hurt. Let's fly in front of the camera here so you can see. That's what the quadcopter looks like. Let's go down here. And all the time, I'm flying behind myself now, so I can only see through the goggles. Here we go. I'm going to fly into myself. Let's just see if it is dangerous. Let's fly into myself at full speed. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh. It's caught my hair. If I had hair. Look at that. Am I injured? Am I, let's see if I can take off again. Well, the quadcopter's not hurt. I'm not hurt. The worst case scenario, I flew into my own head. And look at that. Nobody died. Not even me. So let's come back over here by the camera. Okay. Upside down. Let me come back and review this flight. As you can see, I flew this around. We didn't bring down any aircraft. We didn't injure anybody, not even myself when I flew into myself full speed, and there was no property damaged by flying this. This kind of proves that the risk associated with this is zero. So why is it a legal requirement for me to have an observer, a competent observer, if I'm going to fly this little tiny 25-gram toy in my backyard? It's ridiculous. And for CAA to suggest that what I've just done is a danger to aviation, it really erodes the public's confidence in the organisation. If they are so myopic, if they're so bound by compliance that they can't see the obvious, then how can you have respect for an organisation and the rules that it puts forward? To be effective, the rules must be a good balance of responsibilities and freedoms. And at the moment, well, it's just not. So CAA can claim that that flight was a danger to aviation, but I don't believe it is. What do you think? Go to the comments, tell me. But more importantly, we need to put this to the test, to the challenge. I want to challenge Doug. Doug is the guy from CAA, the investigator that said a non-compliant flight represents a danger to aviation. So you've just seen a non-compliant flight. I'd like you to go to the CAA and I'll put instructions in the description. Go and complain about this flight to CAA. So Mr. Simpson has been seen to conduct a non-compliant flight in breach of CAA 101.209. He flew FPV without an observer. And that is a breach of the regulations, and therefore, according to investigator Doug, that places aviation at risk. Do it. Let's see what the CAA say when we hold their hand to the flame, because it has to be done. It has to be done. We need to make sure that CAA keeps its regulations up to date. Now, the regulations about this, as I say, 5 years ago they created the regulation, before these craft were even a dream. Now they're reality, now they're practical. So the regulations need to be updated. They need to update that regulation to say anyone flying FPV must always have an observer, a competent observer, when necessary to ensure safety. Was one necessary here? Of course not. In my garden, below the fence, below the level of the roof of my house, always over my own property, and using a craft that was only a choking hazard. So, as I say, CAA have taken an extraordinarily long time to investigate some of my previous videos. I've had enough. We need to let CAA know in no uncertain terms that if they're going to do their job, they need to do it properly, not mess around, not take inordinately long amounts of time, and not make ludicrous claims about what's safe and what's not. There you go. Go to the description, read how to do it, and send in your complaint immediately. Let's send them a message. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.